Welcome to BIBLETECH401 Lesson 9. Turn to your Bibles if you would, please. Oh, wait, never mind, wrong video. It's actually a British video from the BBC about Bible technology at the 400 level introductory course. Well, not introductory, actually advanced. And the tools that we will be covering today are advanced tools for those who want to produce video. I'm going to talk about hardware tools in the second half of the video, a second half that I've actually already recorded, and you can see it here. In the first half of this video, I will show you the tools that I use to edit videos that I've taken. And the key tools are Descript and Final Cut Pro. Descript is the main one I want to talk about because I think it could be useful to you even if you don't edit very much video. And even if you just need to transcribe stuff. That's what you can do with Descript. You toss the video in, it makes an automatic transcription. I've had that done for you already. It doesn't take super long, and then look what is produced. Not only do I get text that I can actually just edit, and then the video itself is edited, I'll undo that, but I can use AI tools to edit that text, and therefore the video. So if I want to shorten word gaps, anything longer than 1 second, I shorten it to 0.01 seconds. That's one I frequently use. I can remove retakes, which with scripted videos and with unscripted videos is highly useful. In unscripted videos, I need to remove filler words more often. That's about 2% of my videos. In scripted videos, I need to remove retakes. It's amazing that the AI tool here in Descript can figure out when I've done a retake and can take out words. It actually takes out more than just that, and I usually find that what it takes out I probably didn't need. It usually gets me to about 90 to 95% accurate. And then when I export, I can export to timeline in Final Cut Pro on my 4 terabyte Samsung T9 drive that I got for half off because somebody on Facebook Marketplace didn't need it and it was brand new and I love this thing and I use it all the time. I export the media file as well as the timeline in order to edit it in an editor that I am more familiar with, and that is indeed Final Cut Pro. You actually have not only your whole video edited down to a rough draft, but you have, can you see this up here? You have captions. Now, I don't actually use the captions or like the captions, but you might like the captions. And I frequently do need to watch video in silence. Is that weird? That's what happens. So with Final Cut, I can now go through and adjust the little clips that were taken out of the video for me. This really is just phenomenal. It ends up taking away the most drudgerous task that I found in editing, which was the initial rough cut, taking out my mistakes. I know it's shocking to you, just shocking, that I could make mistakes, but I certainly can. I make them all the time. I have to repeat things. I mess up words. In one recent video, I said Trinity, like CHR rather than TR. And I actually didn't catch it, and so I didn't have a retake, and I just had to go with it. That's what happens. If I do catch it, then I'll retake that portion of the video, just repeat it right then, and Descript will almost always catch it. I'm really just thrilled with this tool. And now I'd like to turn to the hardware tools that I use to make videos. Okay, now I can talk about some of the equipment that I use. I won't go on long about this. If I were to start a YouTube channel right now, I do not think that I would use this somewhat more expensive, up to double or triple full frame cameras that I have. As of quite recently, I have 2. For 2 years, I had 0. I had a Canon M50, and that was provided to me by Logos. It just did not work very well, and I finally hit its limitations and understood them, and that justified me buying a Sony A7 IV right after it came out, and a nice Tamron 35-150 lens, which is what you're watching me on right now. This combo has been an absolute workhorse for me. Full frame does look better than APS-C. APS-C has a smaller sensor size, but if I were just getting started, I would get an APS-C camera. I would skip the quality level of the Canon M50 and I'd go up to one of the Sony series, like the Sony ZV-E10 with a Sigma 16mm lens. That's what I would do. I had something like that with my Canon M50, the 16mm from Sigma on the EFM series, and it was very nice. I have subsequently also gotten this Sony A7C II because I need it to be small. This Sony 50mm lens
has on the front of it right now something that's trying to fall off. What is going on? There we go. Okay, got it screwed back on. This is a polarizer that enables me to film outside. It's not very expensive. I bought it along with some other equipment from Logos when I left Logos. But the Sony a7C II is lighter and smaller than the Sony a7 IV and therefore better for taking around with me. And in particular, I just got a really new piece of kit that I strongly recommend to everybody out there who cares about such things. I'll be right back with it. The Sony a7C II is excellent at autofocus. The a7 IV is with the a7C II that I have here is even better because it has an AI autofocus engine. I really, really love and rely on it. This is a gimbal that I have been using in recent days to film myself, which is what I'm constantly doing because nobody will help me. My family refuses, and I don't blame them. DJI RS4 Mini, which I have fallen in love with. This gimbal allows me, I'll turn it on right here, not only to film nice B-roll, which I don't do very often because I'm just too busy, but to film myself with this little AI autofocus module. This thing is amazing. If you've noticed videos in the last, I don't know, a couple months, maybe 2 months, where the camera is following me and is doing a perfect job, it's actually this little AI tracking module. I have this whole gimbal sitting up on a tripod, and then as I walk around, you'd see the camera follow me like this. And nobody has to be there. My wife has done this for me twice right before I got this gimbal. In fact, I didn't even plan it out this way, but my wife, she's very busy. She's a mom and she's a micro-urban flower farmer. And I love her. She's a Proverbs 31 woman. I say she's really exceeded the Proverbs 31 woman. She's like Proverbs 38 level now. But finally, I asked her, can you track me? I have this nice $100 Manfrotto tripod head. You can follow me. And she did, and it made such a big difference. And she saw that it made such a big difference in certain videos. And right after that, this RS4 Mini came out with the tracking module, and she said, you got to get that, because she understood why I needed it. So $500 or so later, thanks to the donor dollars of people who are supporting the channel and a little bit of ad revenue and a tiny bit of sponsorship revenue from one sponsor, Logos, that did a couple videos, I was able to buy this, and it's been a game changer truly for me. This has been the best setup that I've found for doing outdoor videos. I have a tripod from Ulanzi, the F38 series tripod, and it's a travel tripod. It's able to handle this just fine. It travels in my Peak Design backpack, which I absolutely love, which also can carry my camera stuff and carry my laptop. Here I have the tripod stuck to the edge of the bag. It's for handy use. I just got to do everything fast. I want to show you a couple other tools that I use. I want to show you a couple tools that I use for audio. Okay, I have used multiple different tools for audio over time, but the one I'm most thrilled with is the Hollyland Lark M2S, because you put this little receiver on the top of the camera and connect it with the cable, which is out of my reach right now. And then this tiny little microphone can clip very nicely anywhere, and it clips tight so it doesn't make noise. And it's not this huge box like the Rode Wireless Go that I had for a couple years and just didn't want to use, in part because it looked funny, but in part because it just weighed down my shirt and that looked funny. This has been the best solution I've found. I've looked and looked and looked, and this is it. If you want to up your audio game at all when you're out and about, or even just when you're talking on your computer in Zoom calls, the Hollyland Lark M2S is phenomenal. A little thing that you might have seen in my ear when I've done certain videos, this can alarm people. If I'm driving while doing this, people are like, how in the world did you memorize all that? I did not. I never memorized stuff. I have a little Bluetooth earpiece that goes in my ear like this. I've had it for like 4 years now, and it's never let me down once. It connects to my phone and through the Voice Dream Reader app in the past, and now the 11 Labs app, I'm able to stick my script in here and it reads it to me and I can repeat it on camera. Being super frank about this, I find that when I listen to my own audio at double speed, as I frequently do while I'm editing the audio, it's a little halting when I use this, especially if I have anything else going on in the environment. It's like overclocking my brain, to use a computer analogy that you're not supposed to use because brains are not computers. It is very difficult for me, and it's not ideal. But then when I listen to it on single speed, it sounds just fine, and nobody ever complains. And it's much easier than lugging a tripod around with a teleprompter, which I also use in my home studio. And now I get to leave my Sony a7 IV on there. I bought this Sony a7C II used for about $600 off its new price. Well, more like $700, including tax. Got a really good deal on this. Really thrilled with what the Lord has provided for me. In studio, I use a Falconized panel LED light that you can't see on a C-stand that was given to me by a viewer who gave me a bunch of equipment, including a microphone you can't see, a boom microphone. It's way up here, which I haven't been using quite recently because I'm in a not sound-treated space. I use the Shure SM7B connected to a Mix Pre 3 for audio when I'm in this space. The Mix Pre 3 was also given to me by this viewer. His name is Paul Henderson. I really, really appreciate the stuff that he gave me. It's been massively useful. He wasn't using it, had a little video business, and decided not to do that anymore. I also have a light you can't see over here, a 60-watt Godox L60W. I've got some other things that have been donated, little lights donated by others. In fact, those little lights back there that are up against the wall, making the wall bright, which I think makes a big pop and difference. Those are given to me by Paul Henderson as well. Really, I've given you most of the equipment that I use for making my videos, and I've just rattled it off. I've also told you what the software is, and if you want to pursue any of this, I'm going to try to put some affiliate links in the description of these videos. It's a lot of all the gear that I use, because I do get asked about this, every once in a while. And you can track down all this. I'm also going to link to the gear that I recommend. So you'll get some links if you ever want to make videos yourself, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Tune in next week on Friday for, Lord willing, the final lesson of BibleTech 401, in which I talk about kind of some random apps that I use, especially in Set App, stuff that I've found over many years of searching for utilities. And I've kind of finally gotten in the last probably 5 years to a system that's as stable and set as any I've had in the past. I'm always tweaking things, but the tweaking really stopped once I got, a lot of it stopped once I got Set App, and I want to talk about that in the final video.